Week one of my fat loss phase is in the bag. Have I failed already? Have I binged? No, I haven't. So I'd sit down, have a cup of coffee, relax. I've been tearing around all morning and fill you in on how the first week has gone. But more important, there's a few takeaways that you can use in your own fat loss phase to keep you on track and to ensure that you're successful. The first week of my own fat loss phase, and yours really, shouldn't feel that much different to your normal life. My goal this last week was to do the minimum that I needed to do to elicit some change. When I weighed in at the start of last week, so this time last week, Monday, I was 88.2 kilos on the scales, and the scales dropped down. They've gone up a little bit over the weekend. I'll explain that in a second. But when I weighed myself this morning, I was 87.6. So I've dropped just under a kilo in a week. So for me, at this moment in time, that is perfect. The main things that I've been concentrating on this last week are tracking for the majority of the time, not every single thing. To be honest, I didn't track any of my evening meals. What I tend to do is eat very similar breakfasts, snacks, and very similar lunches, which gives me calorie allowance. So by the time I get to my evening meal, I've got anywhere from 500 to 800 calories left. And I roughly know that what I've been eating on the evening meals kind of fits exactly that. If you want to know exactly what I eat in a day, then just check out the other video that's on. I'm going to put the link here. One thing I've noticed this week is that I tried to record and give a little bit of narrative about every single meal that I ate during a day. And I realised I'm actually quite busy and I haven't got time for that. And I did 2 meals and then I was like, I haven't got time to get the camera out and start talking about what I'm eating. I've got to eat, I've got to move on and do the next thing in my day. So that proved quite challenging. So what you'll find is that majority of my videos will be like this, where I've got the time, 10, 15 minutes to sit down and actually talk to the camera. There's not going to be lots of fancy B-rolling. After tracking my food, the main thing is making sure that I hit the targets. That's somewhere between 2,500 and 2,800, Monday to Friday. I'll come into the weekend in a second. What that looks like on paper, basically, is taking what I normally do and being more accurate within the measurements. For example, my normal evening snack is normally a big bowl of that Fahey, I think that's how you pronounce it. Then I have been sticking a load of Special K on there. But instead of the Special K, with that I wasn't measuring it. What I've been doing is I've put some oats in there when I make the dinner in the evening, and then by the time it gets to 8 o'clock at night when I eat it, it swells up and it gives me a little bit more volume for a little bit less calories. So that is a takeaway for you, is that when you are planning what you're going to eat, and you want to make sure that what you're eating is filling you up, even if it's lower in calories. So we want to go for lower calorie foods that are higher in volume, going to fill you up a little bit more. So I made sure I hit my numbers Monday to Friday, and I needed just to be a little bit more accurate and a little bit more thoughtful in what I was doing. But then at the weekend, I like to let my hair down. And this is going to be a little bit of a trial and error, because to be honest, I did not track anything over the weekend. We went out for dinner Sunday night, and I had a burger and a pint of cider, which was bloody awesome, Crane cider. Local to where I am, on Saturday, we had a bottle of champagne. It was on offer in Tesco's, a bottle of champagne. So I had some alcohol, we had a lot more food, a crisp, a bit more free and easy. But one thing that I did try and do is just be more aware with my eating, in terms of normally on a weekend, if I want crisps, I'll just get them all down me. I don't really care about the volume. I was just more mindful about what I was eating, in terms of, yes, I was eating the crap food, the not so healthy food, but I purposely didn't eat as much as I would normally. Do I know whether I ate too much? By looking at the scales, it seems like the amount that I ate over the weekend didn't undo anything that I did during the week. But I wanted to test it this week. I wanted to test it just to make sure that the amount that I was eating was okay for me to see fat loss going forward. By looking at the scales, it looks like it is. But going forward, if the weight doesn't trend down and I eat what I had ate the weekend just gone, then I know going forward that I'm going to have to tighten that a little bit more. And there's a takeaway for you, is week one should be pretty chilled. It shouldn't feel that much different. It should be just what you're doing at the minute, but a little bit less. Try and push the boundaries in what you can do, because this fat loss phase wants to be, for me, sustainable for 7 weeks, and I don't need to be super lean at the end of it. So if you are trying just to maybe lose a stone, a couple of stone, have a flat stomach, and you're not stepping on a bodybuilding stage, don't eat like you're stepping on a bodybuilding stage from day one. If you just want to live a healthy life with the body that you're happy with, then you don't need to be super strict. You do need to be a bit stricter than you probably are at the moment. Training wise, I'm going to do a whole video on training and how I approach training in going into a fat loss phase. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do subscribe so you can check out my approach to training when it comes to a fat loss phase. But this last week, 4 weight training sessions, full body sessions. I was supposed to do a cardio session on a Wednesday. I missed it. For something that I don't really want to go into details on this YouTube channel. I missed that training session on the Wednesday. I was going to do a cardio session on yesterday on the Sunday, but last week was quite busy. It was quite stressful. And I got to Saturday night and I said to my wife, we normally go to the gym together on a Sunday. I said, I'm not doing it that Sunday morning. So I didn't do the Sunday morning session. So last week I did 4 weight training sessions, no cardio. I was supposed to do 6. Two cardio, 4 weights. I didn't, and I was happy with that. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I did do a little bit of cardio. I ran to the garage to pick up the car because it was in for a service, and that was only like 3K. Week 1, done and dusted. Not really hungry. Was a little bit thinking a bit more about what I eat, making sure I hit the numbers, making sure I was a little bit tighter with what I ate at the weekend, but still letting my hair down at the weekend. And so far, so good.